everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be hot glue sueding some of the joints of my Lily Cat Amy doll. And what hot glue sueding is, if you haven't heard of it, is where you put hot glue around the joints of the doll. And what that does is it gives the joint a little bit of extra grip. So it makes the doll a little bit easier to pose and easier to hold a pose. And so I wanted to show you guys how I do that. Now, this is another one of those things that I do the lazy way versus the correct way. So there's plenty of great tutorials out there, but I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. I am not going to unstring the doll. So the right way to do it is to take the doll apart, suede all the joints with hot glue. And the reason it's called sueding is because traditionally, like in porcelain dolls, people would put a thin layer of suede in the joints to make everything move really smoothly. But we're just going to use hot glue because I don't have any suede, and even if I did, I wouldn't know what to do. Actually, some people use, I want to say, it's called Next Care bandages to do the same sort of thing. Now, for this project, I'm going to be using my Sure Bonder Precision Tip glue gun. So you can see that tip is a precision tip. That's really going to help me get into the very small spaces of the doll's joints. And I will leave a link below to this on Amazon. And if you purchase with my link, that does help my channel out. So I'd appreciate it. Of course, we're also going to need some glue sticks for the project. So I've got the Sure Bonder glue sticks. I've got some Q-tips because they're going to help me spread around the glue once I get it into the joints, because you don't want to burn your fingers on the hot glue. And I've got a paper towel that's damp on one side and dry on the other, just in case I need it for wiping my fingers off or something like that. So let's get to the process now. I'm going to show you what I do first is, and just kind of as an aside, her face and hands are off at the artist, so I use paper clips to hold her elastic in place while her hands are off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull her, I want to get the glue in this joint here. And so I'm going to pull the elastic away as far as I can from the actual joint. And I'm going to get in there and I'm going to put some hot glue in this space, not being very careful not to get it on the cording or in the hole. And that's why I like the precision tip for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And just a small amount. And you know, she may have been sueded a little before. She's got something going on there. Some artists will suede their dolls before they send them to you, which is always kind of nice. Alright, and since I'm not her first owner, I don't really, that could just be some, oh, there we go. Alright, so I got some glue there, and I'm going to use the Q-tip to kind of spread it around. Spread it around town, like SpongeBob would say. Okay, and so I'm just going to kind of wipe the excess off with my fingers. And I like to kind of put the leg back in place and rub it around a little bit to smooth it out. This is just my method. I don't know if it's correct or, you know, whatever. But just to kind of get it in there good and just make sure everything still fits together well. And it does. So now I have, because hot glue is silicone, right? So it's got a little bit of grip on it for making the joints kind of just grip better and making them easier to move and pose. And so you can kind of do this over and over to see how you like it. I'm kind of happy with that one, so I'm going to move on to the next one. This is the one that's really kind of the most kicky, I'll say. Yeah, she hasn't been sueded before. So now I'm going to use this precision tip. And you want to be, if your doll is painted, you want to be extra careful doing this. Luckily, my doll hasn't been painted yet, so this is like the perfect time while her parts are off getting painted to go ahead and do this process. Now again, the correct way is to totally unstring your doll. But I don't want to do that because I'm lazy. So, not just lazy, but it's really time consuming. It's like a project to restring a doll, and I just not interested in doing that. I want the quick fix that's going to give me kind of what I want for the doll. So there's another knee done, and you can just kind of run your finger along the edges to remove excess. And that's the great thing about hot glue. Hot glue, because it's silicone, it pulls away very easily from resin. So if you don't like what you did, just scratch it off, start over. So I'm trying to see if this is, I might put a little bit more. Well, if I do that though, it's going to be ugly. You don't want to put it on the parts that are really going to show, because it's going to look like your doll's all crusty. And I don't want her to look crusty. So I'm not going to put any there, because I may have her with, you know, her legs bent or whatever, and so I don't want that. So really the inside of the joint is what you're going for. I may add just a hair more, just a touch more silicone here, just a little bit. And that's, again, just precision tip, because I have another glue gun that is not a precision tip, and it's a little more, it's way more clumsy when you're trying to do this. So I'm gonna just kind of put that there. And this one too is nice because it doesn't, well, if you put it right, it doesn't touch the whatever surface you're working on. So that's one knee done. And I'm gonna see how, like, this knee, it is a lot better. So like where before it was a little swingy, the knee itself is not swinging. Now the hip is still a little swingy. So next I'm going to work on the hips. So the knee's got a little more grip in it now. And it's hard for me to show you guys the difference between them. It's just difficult to see, but you'll notice a difference if you do this to your dolls. You'll notice, you see how slick this is, just like it moves. It's super slick. And now I got some more grip in the knee, so I'm going to put some more grip here. Some more grip in the hip. Is that even the hip? I guess that's the hip. This is really what, the thigh? We're going to call it grip in the hip because that's catchy. I'm going to write a song called Grip in the Hip. So now here's the inside of the joint. So I'm going to suede all this part here. Again, being very careful not to get it on the stringing. So this is a much bigger surface this time around. So I'm going to be a little liberal here with the glue, but also careful. And if you get it on the string, it's not the end of the world, but you know, just try not to. So I'm gonna kind of pull it out. See, I'm pulling it out carefully, and then I'm just gonna kind of twist that in there to spread any remaining soft glue around, pull the excess off, and then you can see, we'll pull that off. You can see I'm starting to get a bit of a sueding in there. So now I'm gonna repeat on this side. And just kind of spread it around. And then do the same thing, pull the stringing out, and then just kind of cup that in there and twist it to get a nice coat on. And then I'm gonna take that off with my nails. And you can see I'm kind of getting that effect that I want there. And now, you can see it's not, you see how that leg's not swinging like it was before? So it's kind of got more grip there. Now you see the other one swung all the way down, but this one now has got, you know, a little bit more resistance there, and it's not as swingy. So that's nice. So that's what hot glue sueding will do for you. I think I got some on the string. Big fleshy deal. It's okay. All right, so now I'm going to do the other hip. Or not the hip, the whatever, the thigh. Oh, I need a new glue stick. That's the only bad thing about the mini size. See, this one's a mini, is you do run out of glue faster. But I also like the mini because what I'm doing here, you know, the bigger glue stick, or the bigger one, they make a bigger one with a precision tip as well. But get in there. But I like having the smaller one. The smaller one's better for my hands and, you know, better for storage space. Because believe it or not, you guys, a lot of my storage space is taken up with doll stuff. Can you imagine that? Alright, so I'm going to spread this around and do the same trick where I'm going to spread that and then kind of wipe that off. And you see just how easy it just peels off if you've got more than you bargained for. Alright, now I'm going to do the other side. I might not do as much spreading on this one. I can't get this glue stick to get gripped in there good. Okay, and then we'll do the same trick. I actually might not spread this one. I might just kind of let it dry because it was pulling a lot of, adding a lot of excess. Was adding a lot of extra glue right here. Okay, so it's still a little sticky. So while it's still a little tacky, just kind of do that number. And then just clear off the excess. And now you see that both of my legs, they're not swinging anymore. I'm bouncing her like I was before, but I've added enough resistance and grip there that she is holding that better. And the cool thing about the hot glue is once it gets a little old and ugly and crusty, you can just peel it off and start again because hot glue is so inexpensive and, you know, it doesn't hurt the resin. I just try not to get it on the string and in the joint hole because, you know, it's just kind of messy, but otherwise, there we go. So I got her hips and her legs done. This knee's still a little iffy, but I don't know. I think it's as good as it's going to get. I'm going to work on her. Actually, her elbows are okay. So they're not, and her shoulders are not, like I can bounce her and that's not as swingy. So I'm going to stop with just her legs. But some people like to hot glue suede the entire body. So they'll do this part, which is, of course, you can see it's much smaller. So that's a much smaller joint hole. So you would want to be, you know, that precision tip is really, like, it's crucial in my opinion. You want to have that. But yeah, so now her legs are hot glue sueded. So whenever her face comes back, she is going to be ready to party and ready to hold nice poses with her legs and stand up and be pretty and sexy and, you know, just all the things that Lily Cat dolls are, just super gorgeous and have that, you know, that silhouette that they have that I love. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, check the links below if you want to grab your own Sure Bonder with the precision tip to do your own hot glue sueding. They're like 13 bucks, so it's not very expensive. And let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.